Okay, I think I'm supposed to start around now, so I will. I'm good. Okay, I'm good. I'm good to go. When I put in the request to become a speaker here, I thought I'd do something about how you can use Studio today, and then I thought I'd do something about how you could transfer data from the Claris Pro family to FileMaker or whatever. And thank God I had to change the title, because now it's how Studio became part of the FileMaker family. So I'm going to start with that. Just a short thing. You can look this up on the slide. This is about me. It just says that I do know something about FileMaker. If you want some really burning news, I'm married on the 26th of October. So that's not in the slide, yeah. Just okay, and there's two people talking about Studio, and Caroline will also talk about Studio, and she's going to go more in depth, because they only gave me half an hour, because they know I talk too much. So they said, okay, I'm going to give him half an hour only, so that he gets anything done, yeah? But please, if you want some more in-depth information, come to this second session. I will be there too, and she knows everything about Studio, so it would be a very good thing to visit. Okay. 20 minutes slides and demo, 10 minutes questions and answers. So I had to think up something that's very compact and very precise, and I'm going to try and what I always like to do something that's somehow real. So I didn't want to do some funny demo, but I'll do something that you can see how it really went. And I'm going to show you some of the things that really went well, but I'm also going to show you some of the things that didn't go quite as well for me and how I worked around them, because we're FileMaker developers, so if anybody knows how to work around something, it's us, huh? So, okay, and then I'm going to show just one slide, it's in the presentation also, some other products that are doing similar things, and just so that you are aware, it's not the only system out there, yeah? Okay, this is a lot of text for a slide, I know, but basically what happened was Claris found out that we didn't like this family split, and that we were like children in a divorce. We weren't happy at all. So they changed that, and it was amazing, because they just said, hey, from now on, we're changing this, and we're going back to square one, and we're going to do it properly this time. Properly, I think, because we would expect them to do it that way, being part of the developers who use the core product made by the company. So I think it was a really good move, and it really opened up the way forward for these additional things that they're doing, Claris Studio and Claris Connect. Okay. So in every other slideshow I've seen, we start by some theory and then a demo. I'm doing it the other way around, because I like doing things the other way around. So please use this QR code on your phone or on whatever, and it will move you to somewhere, and I would like you to fill out whatever you see in front of you. Don't worry, it's only 3 questions, so you won't take long to fill it out. And we don't have to worry about data center either, because you're not going to be asked for your name, and you're not going to be asked for your email address or anything. It's just 3 simple questions. Okay? Can somebody give me feedback that they're seeing the questions? Okay. Okay, who's not seeing the questions? Wow, that's quite a lot. Okay, let's see how long it takes. It's okay. Okay, great. So, so don't you find that a little bit exciting to start off this way, and you could like 40% say they can't even reach the questionnaire, and it's like, ooh, shit, what do we do now? So the answer is wait for a little. Okay, but while some of you are still filling this stuff out, I'm gonna stop this presentation, and I'm already on my demo. So here we go. Okay, so this is Claris Studio. I logged into it a couple of minutes ago, and I may still be logged in. I might already be logged out again because of security reasons or whatever. And I'm just going to show you the forms that I used to do the questionnaire I just did with you. And this form consists of some options here that you can choose from, and then there's a second field where you could pick the FileMaker version, and you can see it shows all kinds of FileMaker versions. And the nice thing about this pull down we had there, the nice thing about it is I didn't have to write in all the options, but I used a different table to give me the options. So that worked quite well. I said use the table versions, which is over here. I'll show you in a minute. FM versions. And it's just a table with the version in it and with the file extension in it. I got it off Google. Yeah, just asked what FileMaker versions existed. I copied and pasted it in. I imported it from Excel, and very easy. So so that's something that wasn't available in the past, but it's working now. And then I wanted to do something because I looked at the country list, and the country list was 250 countries long. So I'm like, oh God, they're on their handy. They have to go through 250 countries to find their country. I don't think that's a good option. So I wanted to do something like in FileMaker when you do a menu and you pick the region first, and then due to the region, you pick the country from that region. So that's something, as FileMaker users, we do that all the time, and we're used to that. So I thought about how I could manage to do that, and of course I was really optimistic. So I put these regions into a region list, and it had the region in it, the country in it, and so I was really hopeful that I could do some sort of cascading whatever to make these value lists, these different value lists. I didn't find a method how I could do that, so it turned out to be impossible. So this is when I was really happy that I had a connection to FileMaker, because then I went into the database and I just said, okay, I have this region table here, but I need to split this region table up into many smaller tables. So I just wrote a script and split them up into smaller tables, and really easy script. And what I really did was I made a table for each region. So if you look at Africa, for example, you have here all the countries of Africa, and this was the only way I could get this to work. So I didn't find a different way to get it to work. But I think, I hope it worked well for you, picking a region and then picking the country. So it was good. I thought, you know, I have to get it to go well enough. And how did I do it? I put all the different regions on there, and I did some, so first you have to say which region. This was the very first version that didn't work. I just left it in there so that I could show you.
Actually, I found my country by typing the first letters.
That's good.
So it is helpful a little bit.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm glad that worked as well. So I split up in different regions, and then I did the value list on the table of that region. Okay, so that's the way I managed to sort this out. So there were about 18. No, let's look back at the answer table. So we have to refresh this. Records, refresh Windows. It's similar to SQL. Sometimes you have to refresh the window to get it to work out what kind of data is in that table. So it's similar to ESS. You've all used ESS to connect to some SQL databases, and this works very much the same. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's similar. And now you can see 80 people managed to answer my questions. So the next thing I wanted to do was some kind of management dashboard. You know, they always saying we have to do some management dashboard so that people that don't actually know what we're doing have something they can look at, and they have the feeling that they know what we're doing now. So I said, let's do a management dashboard. And so the first way I went about that was that I did a formula within Studio. So you can do a formula, and this formula will calculate. And so I said, if it's between 1985 and 2000 and whatever, then put a 1 in this field, and if it's not, then put a 0 in it. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to sum them up. So if I want to sum them up, it's best to have a place where you can count them well. Yeah. So I did these formulas, and then I went into this management dashboard, and you can see this is actually not showing the right data right now, but we'll get there in a minute. And what I did is I wanted to put, so this was my aim. I wanted to have all the entrances from one country, and then I wanted to have the older FileMaker the developers at the bottom, and getting newer and newer and newer. So that was my aim. This was my management dashboard. And so I tried to work with the formulas that I just created. And I thought I could say, I created a formula. It says 1 in there if it's true or not. So I should be able to choose this here and say record count for this field, or sum of this field or something. But I found out that I couldn't reference to these formulas at all. It wouldn't allow me to sum them up. So, okay, so here goes another workaround. So I went back to FileMaker, and I wrote a second script that I'm going to have to run right now, and it's called transfer result. And what I did is I did a formula in FileMaker that was very similar to the formula in the Studio, and then I'm just going to transfer the answer here so that I have those informations in a normal number field, not a calculated one. And then, yeah, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to start this, and it will run through here. And then what I also did is because I put the countries in different fields, I have to calculate the countries back into one field so that I can use them as X and Y in the graph. Because if they're in different fields, it couldn't show it in the graph. So So I'm consolidating this data in a way that the graph will be able to use it. Yeah. And it's working through this right now, and I don't know how long it's going to take. It'll take a while, but it will be finished at some point. And so after I'd done that, I went back to Studio and I thought, okay, I'm going to see these new numbers on the graph or something. And no, nothing changed in Studio. So then I went back to the original table, the answers table, and I wanted to see whether the countries and the ones and the zeros are in there at all. But I couldn't see them either. So Studio hadn't noticed that I'd been pushing data into the back end. So it didn't notice that. And at the end, there's not really a refresh button or anything here, but you have to really refresh the browser page. And if you do that, it will actually really reconnect and really look what's changed. And now you can see we haven't even finished at the back with the data, but now we have some graph already where you can see Austria, Belgium, and so on. So and some people left the country empty, so they're in a different thing. Okay, and how the graph obviously goes onto this answer table, and you can see the countries in here, and that's the way this whole thing worked. So, was that 20 minutes? About, yeah. So I only had 20 minutes. So I was really trying to show you something in 20 minutes, which is challenging. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm open for questions. I'm supposed to take the microphone to whoever has questions.
Should be a lot of questions on Studio. Don't hesitate.
So I'm going to do a question instead. Who's logged into Studio at least once? Okay. And how many would say they're ongoing Studio experts? Yeah? Okay, that's good. So, has anybody, I presented what I did. Does anybody have an idea of a better solution for how I did it? Has anybody tried to do one of these graphs and found out that he could do it differently? No. Okay, then I'm happy. I'm state of the art right now. Maybe not next week, but this week I'm state of the art. Now, I'll show you three more things about. Okay. He's going to turn it on.
Is it working? Okay. I have a question. Why did you had to make some mess in FileMaker side? It was impossible to do it alone in Studio because your use case is very basic. You have your questionnaire, you get the information, you want to show a graph. And I'm surprised that you have to have a process in FileMaker side instead of having the process autonomous in Studio side. Is it because of your data modelization that you must go through this step? Or is it because it's impossible to do it alone in Studio?
Yeah. If I had wanted it to work in Studio, I would have had to have formulated my questions a lot differently and made it so choose 1 or 0 sort of thing. And then I probably would have worked with Studio alone. But the questions wouldn't have been as good, I think, and we're doing questions for the user. So I don't think I don't think the questions should come or the technical stuff should follow the questions, not the other way around. And I just started with, oh, what am I going to ask? And then I thought about how am I going to ask it? And then I went from there, and then I found out, oh, can't do this, can't do that, can't do that. And then I just worked around it. And the reason why I worked around it was because I thought, still, I wanted to show you something that really does work, and it really did work in the end. So it's not like it didn't work. And you could do a server-sided script that just refreshes the data every 2 minutes or whatever, or every 30 seconds, and it would continue to work. So even though I did a part of the work in FileMaker, because there I have a scripting language that allows me to do that, it would still work automatedly. So that's what I wanted to show.
Test. Yeah, okay, thanks. I wanted to relate to a different use case and a different experience we have with Studio, since you asked about use cases. So as you remember, probably last year in Malmö, we used Claris Studio for the evaluations, conference evaluations, and we will be doing the same this year. And my experience is different, in fact, that the dashboard that came out of the box with Studio suited us perfectly to do like basic pie charts, all the questions, and then the percentages with the points of each question. So my experience is different. The out-of-the-box charts were great. I believe you are relating to a very specific kind of chart you want to create. You want to stack experience versus region. So yeah, I can imagine that there's some data process involved. Just wanted to mention that.
Okay. I think it's the same, but I just thought, what do I want to show? And I thought I could show in which country, how old are the developers in which country, and which countries are managing to recruit new FileMaker developers, and which countries are not managing to recruit new FileMaker developers. So that was what I wanted to show, and I thought that this kind of presentation, or this kind of dashboard, would be the right one for showing that. So now we can probably, if I press this again, we can see the final results, because the script isn't doing anything anymore. And so I was driven by the message I wanted to show. Yeah. Okay. So you can see the youngest ones are long ago, 2014. Yeah. Here you got some younger ones, 2019. Nearly nowhere there's somebody between 20 and now. Yeah. None available. Okay.
Next question, yes. Have you tried to do it with WebDirect, and if you do it with that, so what's the difference, or using WebDirect?
It would be a lot easier to do it in WebDirect, obviously.
Thinking so.
Yeah. But you have on the other hand, you have the licensing problem. Because,
and what's the
because
problem?
Here you can make a page public, and it doesn't have a license count. You can send the same mail to 50,000 people, and it would still be valid. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't do that with WebDirect. So.
All right. Then a second question, actually, because I thought I was the only one from Finland, but in the chart there is 2 persons. So. Yeah. Hand up, who is from Finland?
No, I'm going to answer that question. It's actually somebody who I asked to fill out the questionnaire before I came here.
Okay.
I had a control group of 15, and they're in there as well. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Just to add on to your experience, because we were trying to solve that together, I found it really irritating that in Studio you have those calculation fields, and they are presented as fields in Studio, but then they are not available as normal fields. They are just displays, like if you were doing a calculation in a button bar in a list in FileMaker and then wondering why you can't use the output in a graph. That's about how it feels, but that's not how it should be.
Okay, so thank you very much, all of you, for attending. If
You were saying in the first, or one of the first slides, you had some comparison.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. How do I start this one? Yeah. So I didn't go into a lot of evaluation, but I did the ones I put on there. At least I tried them once, and I did some work with them. And the top ones are more so low-code development environments where you can create a table and create views and do the kind of stuff you do in FileMaker. And the bottom ones were just form generators that would give you the data back in some kind of, yeah. Okay, but that's in the slides to see if you can follow the links. Okay. So thank you very much for your time and nice to talk to you.